Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Small Stages, Big Sounds. We're going to have a review of last week's festival with Jason Walker. Jace, how did it go after?
I've got to be honest, for a first-time festival, it was genuinely a really good experience. I mean, the weather could have been a bit better though, because it was very wet for a lot of the weekend.
Okay, so what were the highlights for you?
So, band-wise specifically, like Sunday for me was like the real big day that started out started out strong and just went all the way through at the end. Exactly the way I wanted it to be. The finale of In Flames, followed by Meshuggah, was just phenomenal. Absolutely outstanding sets from both bands. And Meshuggah, as always, is just quite the experience to behold, really.
Okay, was it a good crowd there?
Yeah. The crowd themselves skewed a little bit older than I was actually expecting. It was probably similar to a lot of what you actually get at the likes of Bloodstock and stuff. So the audience themselves were definitely like overall mainly like 40 and above overall.
People with the money to go, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, like Maastricht is not exactly a cheap city to get to for a lot of people. It's a conveniently placed city because it's at like the tri-point between Germany, France, Belgium, I think almost Luxembourg as well. So, it's a good location, but it's not a cheap location.
Mm.
Despite that, though, the crowd themselves was actually quite active as well. Although mainly the crowd surfers were definitely much younger overall. Although I did see a fair amount of grey-haired gentlemen coming over the top, much to their own lack of,
Common sense.
yeah, like sort of self-preservation. I think. I think even for myself at 38, if I fell out with that crowd, I would probably really badly hurt myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not keen on doing that myself.
So you said that there were two sets. There was the set, the open air during the day, and then the late night set in the venue next door. How did that go?
Yeah, the only actual day I actually made that over properly was Friday. I'm not gonna lie, I got to about midnight and I could just feel like real big fatigue setting in. But Friday was overall like the High Long day was a lot shorter. It started at 5 and High Long finished 11, I think. And then I went over to see Souht, I think it is, and Nini.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, during like Nini's set, I was really enjoying it, but I was struggling to keep my eyes open. I was really tired. But that was a very strange set. Like Nini finished. To preface, like Nini are a Taiwanese metal band that uses traditional folk instruments. And their finale was a cover of Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, which was
Different.
really weird. It completely caught me off guard, and at least I woke up for the 5 minutes that they were playing it before I staggered back home.
That's a bit left field, so to speak.
It really caught me off guard. I mean, that whole day was like full of like generally quite weird stuff. I mean, like Alcest,
Mm.
they sort of occupy this kind of like mix of like doomy, shoegaze, post metal kind of stuff. Lots of like black metal influences as well.
Mm.
Followed by the Who, the Mongolian Who. So their newer stuff that I hadn't, admittedly, I hadn't properly listened to like the stuff that had released like in the past like couple of years.
Hmm.
But man, it leans really heavily towards like Metallica side of things. The first album was very rock and roll, kind of
Mm.
like Rolling Stones, Status Quo, that sort of
Mm.
thing. New album, it's just metal, but with more throat singing.
So did you enjoy it? Is the question.
Oh yeah. Admittedly, I didn't enjoy How Long as much as I thought. I think like artistically, the overall like actual performance itself, immaculate,
Mm.
absolutely like stunning. I didn't really find the music side of things particularly engaging. However, the band that started off the after party, so Willow, very similar sort of stuff, but way more interesting to me
Oh,
because they had
never.
like they had a harp on stage, they had a three-piece string section, they had someone playing this ridiculously massive pipe, like I think it was about 3 meters long or
Or like a
something.
didgeridoo sort of thing.
No, it wasn't like a didgeridoo. It had like an actual sort of like horn bit at the end. So it was like a very sort of like real deep rumbly kind of thing, but not like a didgeridoo. It's like it had like a almost like a tritone kind of thing. So it was like almost like it was making a chord in its own way. And
Hmm.
they were fascinating. They were really really good. I really enjoyed them.
Unusual, but you enjoyed it.
I mean, I like weird music. It's very I'm very much a person where I can find a lot of interest in quite abstract music. I mean, I like a lot of like mathcore at the moment, which is for what most metalheads would probably refer to as complete abject noise. But yeah, that's kind of how a lot of mathcore sounds to people.
Well, if you're that way inclined, you listen to what you listen to, don't you?
Yeah, and I listen to a lot.
So, like I said, you only made the one night of the
Mhm.
late night stuff. Apart from the weather, did the rest of the stuff live up to your expectations? What was apart from the sugar
Mhm.
and In Flames? What was the highlights? What were the lower bands like?
So I was really impressed with Tenside. They opened up on the Sunday. Absolute troopers, because the moment they started, the heavens opened up and it was literally raining sideways. I was actually soaking wet on one side of my body, and it was pissing down for pretty much like the last 5 minutes. It cleared up, and
Mm,
then they went from about playing to about 20 people in front of them to about 300 in about space of about a minute. And all the credit to them. Like I was looking forward to seeing them anyway,
mm.
but it takes a lot for a band to start as openers and still be like, yeah, we're gonna give him hell. Yeah, it doesn't matter that there's 15 people, the weather's shit, but we can't see anyone in front of us that we're playing to. We're still gonna do whatever we can. That is unbelievably professional and extremely good attitude from them. So I was very happy with them.
Good. So overall, how do you think the festival went for a
Yeah, I
first?
mean,
For a
I get the sneaking suspicion that it's not the first rodeo for the people who put that together. If I'm perfectly honest, it was really well laid out. It was actually smaller than I was anticipating,
Mhm.
but that's not a bad thing. I was just really surprised that when I walked into the arena and I actually saw the size of it, I was like, I have no idea how they've pulled the names that they've got on there because like these aren't small names, except in Channel Zero, Dark Angel, I Am Morbid, which is an offshoot of Morbid Angel, and Sugar and In Flames and Soulfly and Carcass. Like these are not small names, and the actual arena size was quite modest. It was a decent stage size, but the arena quite modest. And I was just absolutely floored about how they managed to do that for the first run. The layout was really good as well. Queue was sometimes for a little bit much, but the beer selection again was great as well. They had a few games, one of them being like these barrels, and they were giving like nails to people, and it
Mhm.
was like a drinking game where people would like hammer in their nail, and if they missed, they had to take a drink. But the hammer was chained to the barrel, so you couldn't like swing it around and
Mm.
stuff. Some people were clearly not all there when they were swinging that hammer because some people were just literally just whacking the barrel like nowhere near the nail. At one point, a lady came up to me and she was like, "Do you want to take part in this?" And I was like, No, I'm having far too much fun watching drunk people try to hammer a nail into a barrel." And I just stood and watched it for about half an hour, killing myself laughing.
So how big was the crowd then? If you said the arena wasn't that big,
Uh,
so not bad for a first time festival then, particularly with the bigger bands you had on.
yeah, I mean, like if you look at the other festivals that a lot of these bands were playing as they came through Maastricht, they were playing at like a Mystic Festival. I think was the same weekend. I think there was another couple in Germany, and I think maybe one in Spain or something. And because I was following In Flames as they were going through it, they played at Mystic Festival to about 10,000 people. Like so, it's quite a difference in audience size, but. The other thing that surprised me as well is that a lot of these bands that actually played, they actually had like a proper production with them as well. So there wasn't like cheaping out or anything. Like it was people were bringing like the actual the big guns as well.
So as you said, there were about 1,500, 2,000 people there, and it was a good day for a first iteration.
Yeah, there's not really anything I can properly fault them over. There was plenty of toilets. They were all quite clean. They were well maintained. The actual arena area was I was pretty well laid out as well. Things generally seem to be running smoothly. I was a little bit gutted that they ran out of the festival t-shirts like almost immediately because I was planning to buy one like maybe at some point on the Saturday, which was
Mm.
technically the first day of the festival, but pretty much everything sold out on the Highland Day. So people have clearly enjoyed it. Uh, there's one thing that I really did enjoy though about the beer prices, weirdly enough. So their charge for a half liter of beer was €6.66, and I really really enjoyed that because
Six,
a
six.
it was really really well priced. Like for a festival, for a half liter beer and stuff at a festival, that's great price. But also, I love the reference.
Yeah, 666.
Like,
Yeah.
and they had some good, decent craft beer on. I didn't actually go to like the proper craft beer bar that they had.
Hmm.
I was just mainly going to like the main bar because it was just a lot quicker. The food was good as well. I tried a few different food vans.
What about the transport links? Given that where it was a bit out of the way. Was it easy to get to?
So Maastricht is a relatively easy city to get to, especially if you live like I don't know Aachen in Germany, throughout most of the Netherlands and Belgium. But last Friday, well, last week rather, shall we say, on Wednesday, Nederlands Spoorweg, the Dutch railway company, announced a strike for the Friday. So I had to very, very, very quickly book myself a trip on Flixbus to get down to Maastricht. And I think about an hour later, after I checked after I booked my ticket, all of them were sold out. That probably didn't help with a lot of people getting down to Maastricht that week.
Mhm.
But generally, overall, it's usually quite easy to get to through public transport.
And with even with public transport, I mean, was the did anybody take their own vehicles? Did they get there okay? Was it far the site very big?
There there was a couple of large car parks, I think almost directly next to the actual venue itself. I knew a few people that came down in the cars, but like they didn't always go for the main car park that's right next to it because I'm assuming that's technically a tourist trap because I think it's expensive as hell. But
Okay,
there's multiple options for getting there anyway,
okay.
and it's got an airport,
Oh wow.
small one.
But nonetheless, I mean, if people got there and they managed to sort it out, then it was a reasonable weekend, and it'll probably go ahead again next year.
Yeah, the only thing I've definitely got to do for myself for next year because they've already announced next year's dates. I'm going to book the hotel well in advance because I left it a little bit late and I ended up paying nearly €600 for a hotel.
For the weekend.
Yeah, for the weekend. The
Cost a bit.
thing is, like Maastricht it's very much like a destination city. It's a very pretty and very popular tourist
Mm,
city. So the hotels there. So I'm going to book a little bit more in advance so I don't want to cost myself a better part of €1,000.
yeah, find yourself an Airbnb or something, it'd be cheaper.
I did do that last year actually with some friends for another festival called Pelagic,
Mm.
which I'm going to again this year. But I think I'm just gonna get the hotel that's right next to the venue this time because we did an Airbnb and it was quite a walk.
Okay. Well, there we are then. Well, thanks for your time again, and it was nice to know that apart from the weather, it went well.
Yeah, and
And
I'd like to hopefully have a quick chat with you. I think 2 weeks time because I've got Jarrett on air and I've got Radar Festival coming up one after the other. So
mm,
love to have a little chat about them and hopefully maybe I'll be able to say I can get some interviews and stuff with some of the bands myself there.
yeah, well, like I said, we can work that out. We can work the logistics of it out. Like I said, you could just do it if you're going to interview them with your phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But okay, well, thanks for your time, and I'll catch you again soon.
Yeah, no problem. Speak
Okay,
again
take
soon.
care,
See
Jess.
you
Bye
later.
now.
Bye.